So we'll be talking about the piecewise function. A function defined by two or more equations over a specified domain is called a piecewise function. Okay, so when you see a function defined by two or more equations over a specified domain, a defined domain, is called what? A piecewise function. It takes this shape. This is the function and these are the two equations. You're taking out the constant terms. Okay, so let's go out at once and solve some examples on this so you understand more about it. The piecewise function f of x is said to be x squared plus 1 when x is less than 0 and x minus 1 when x is greater than or equal to 0. Now the question is this: evaluate the piecewise function f of x when x is equal to -1, when x is 0, and when x is 1. So there are three cases. The first case is when x is -1, the second is when x is 0, and the third is when x is 1. So we go about to the case 1. First case, case number 1. When x is equal to -1. Okay, for the first case, when x is equal to -1, I want us to go about, look at the equations. Okay, the two equations were given in the function. We're given the first when x is less than 0. Now consider x. X is -1, therefore x is less than 0. So we're going to make use of that function. X squared plus 1. That's just it. So when x is less than 0, -1 is less than 0. So when x is -1, we're going to make use of that particular equation. So x squared plus 1. Okay, so what's our value of x? The value of x is -1. We just bring in -1 right there in place of x. So this becomes -1 squared just +1 plus 1 equals to 2. That is the value. Now for the second case, we have case number 2. When x is equal to what? 0. This is it. Okay, so when x is equal to 0, which of the function are you going to make use of? Now look, now here was x squared plus 1 when x is less than 0, and x minus 1 when x is greater or equal to 0. So this 0 here is said to be when x is greater than or equal to 0, we make use of x minus 1. So we're going to make use of x minus 1 in the case 2 because the value of x is no longer -1, rather it is now 0. And when x is 0, we just make use of x minus 1. So plug in the value of x right here. We have 0 minus 1 is equals to -1. And the last case, case number 3, when x is equal to, so we look into the two equations given. When x is less than 0, make use of x squared plus 1, and when x is greater than or equal to 0, make use of x minus 1. Already, we know that if x is equal to 1, then 1 is greater than or equal to 0. Therefore, we still make use of this other equation. That becomes x minus 1. So in place of x, we just put in the value of x, which is 1. We have the 1 minus 1, and that gives us what? 0. So for the first case, the result we get is 2. For the second case, the result we get is -1, and for the third case, the result we get is 0. Thanks for watching. Please do want to subscribe to our channel by just touching that round icon there.